This will be a film evaluation of my blog post on audience research. First, what I'm going to do is explain the difference between qualitative data and quantitative data. Qualitative data is data which is not numerically founded. For example, this can be if you ask someone's opinion on something, so say, do you enjoy the sixth form? Or you ask someone what they've done today, it's an answer which doesn't give a number, which is where quantitative data comes in. Quantitative data is data which is all numbers. So this could be on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you enjoy something, or how much do you agree with this statement, from 1 to 5, 1 being like you don't agree with it and 5 being you do agree with it. As well as data collection and the different types of data, this post also explored the different types of sampling. The first one is simple random sampling, which is basically where you have your group of people and you number them, and then you use a random number generator to select the amount of people from the group that you will actually be asking your question to. The second type is systematic random sampling, which is kind of the same. You give everyone in the group a number. So say you have 10 people, you'd number them 1 to 10. If you only wanted 3 people in your sample, you would choose your number to be 3, and then every third person you would pick to do your questionnaire, or so on. So this would be the third person, 6th person, and the 9th person. And the last type is stratified random sample, which is kind of the same as simple random sampling, except instead of just choosing random people, you split people into groups first. So say you've got 10 people and you want to choose 4, but you want 2 girls and 2 boys. First you'd split your group so it's equal. So say there were 6 boys and 4 girls, you could still do your research with 2 boys and 2 girls. And this kind of makes the sampling a lot fairer, especially if you're trying to get the opinion of a whole public rather than just like a select group of people. So say if you just wanted boys, then this would be perfect for you, as you could just take all of the girls out of the sample. But if not, if you just wanted everyone, then you would go for simple random sampling. I also looked into the analysis of the data, which is basically how, once you've collected the data, you'd represent it. So again, for the 2 different types of data, you would represent these in different types of ways. So for qualitative data, which is the data which isn't numbers, you'd have to write a report. So say you'd write an essay talking about what people generally thought. Some people thought this, some people thought that. You wouldn't be able to give a chart or a graph because it's not really numbers, which you would obviously have to have. When you look at quantitative data, which is obviously numbers, you would be looking at a chart or a table. So say you could have a tally chart or a pie chart even, which would obviously easily show people what you thought, or rather what the group that you interviewed thought. So these are good in 2 different ways. With the qualitative data, you'd be looking at this report and people could question this. However, the benefit of this is you would know the reason behind it. So say people said that they did enjoy the sixth form, you'll be able to understand why they enjoyed the sixth form because they've gone deeper into this. This, however, would be more costly, as after you've interviewed the people, it takes longer to look into the data and then obviously longer to make a report. On the other hand, with quantitative data, you would be able to take the numbers straight off the surveys, which would not take long at all, and then you'd be able to put it into a graph, pie chart, whatever you wanted, and it's not really questionable. Like, someone couldn't come up to you and say, I don't agree with this, because it just wouldn't happen, because you've collected the data and you have the numbers to back it up. There's not really much room for argument. My group sat down and had a bit of a discussion about how we were going to collect data when we did do a little bit of research into the type of film trailer that we were going to make, and we've decided that we're going to try and collect both types of data. We found it's important to have qualitative data because it kind of tells you a bit more about what you're asking. So say if you was asking people if they liked sci-fi films, if you had quantitative data, you could say 60% of people liked it, but you wouldn't really be able to say why they liked it, what they liked about it. You could make a film and it has all of the bad things about sci-fi that people don't like, which is why it is quite important to have qualitative data. However, quantitative data does tell you a lot about the films, knowing that people do like sci-fi, it does put you onto the right track. If we didn't do that and we spent all of our time looking at qualitative data, we might not get to the bottom of things exactly how we want to. We might not get the right results, and then we might end up putting out a trailer which obviously isn't what people are interested in.